And the first step in your workbench, you must create a database. You can call the database bike store. I think you remember how you are creating database using this icon here. This icon that looks like a cylinder with a plus. So you just have to click this, and then you name you're going to name your database bike store, bike underscore store. But for my case, I already have that schema or that database. So I'll use bike underscore store underscore. So then you click apply, then you apply again, and then you just click finish. So you should be able to see that database appear on your left. That is where you have schemas. So after that, you notice that in this schema now we don't have any table. So I need us to add the tables that you have already downloaded in the WhatsApp group. And how you achieve that, you're going just to click on top here. There is a server option here. You just have like to click this server, and there is a number of options that you're going to see here. In this case, we want to import data. So you click the data import. You should be able to see a form like this one, or a wizard like this. That is the data import wizard. So after that, by default, for the import options, by default, this option is selected. That is the import from a dump project folder. But we need to import from a self-contained file. So you're just going to click the import from a self-contained file. So you click that one. Then after that, we are going to navigate to where we have our data. So you're just going to click these three dots here. So you just click those three dots. And when you click the three dots, you're supposed to get to your file what do we call it? Is it File Explorer? Whereby you are going to see you should now navigate to where you have your folder. In my case, it was in dumps. And then I have bike store. Then after you are here, you can just let me see if you can select all. So we are going to use first. We are going to use this. There is this table that I want us to use. There is this bike store customers. This is the file that I want us to import. The bike store underscore customers. So you can just click the file and then you click open. You can just click open. Then after that, you notice that below here we have default target schema. The default target schema, this is where you want to you choose the schema where you want to put this table. In this case, in my case, we have bike underscore store underscore, but in your case, it's just bike store. So you choose that schema. Then after that, by default, we have dump structure and data. This is the option that we should choose. Good. So after that, then you should start your import process. So you can just click this start import. Then it should be very fast because it's just a single file. You can see that the status is 1 out of 1 imported. Then you can just exit. You can exit that. And then you can just come and just check if you have the table in your you can check if the table have been imported. So in this case, I'll just have to refresh this. Just to refresh that. And now you notice that in my bike underscore store underscore tables, I have customers. This table here. And I notice that it has all the data. Who has managed to import the data? A thumbs up for if you have managed to import. Or was I fast? Who has managed?
Kindly repeat.
Okay, let me try with a different table. So in your case, I'm hoping that you have already created the schema, bike store. Who has created that? This is how we create the schema. You just have like to click this icon here. I'm hoping that you guys you can see the icon that I'm pointing at. This for creating new schema. You just have like to click that, and you name your schema bike underscore store. And then after that, you just have to apply. If I was to apply this, and then you apply again here to finish. So, but in this case, I don't want to create another schema because I've already created my schema. So don't save that. So who has managed to create the schema? I think that is just a simple stuff to do. Lynette, have you managed? Hey guys, have you managed to create the schema? I can see Jude has managed. Who else? Carl? Carl has managed. Lynette is saying not yet. What about Victoria?
I'm working on it.
You're working on it. You should be fast. I think I'll just repeat just for the final time. So David, have you managed to create the schema?
No, not yet.
think it's just quite easy. We are just clicking this icon here. This icon that looks like a cylinder. This one, you just have to click that and then you name your schema here. That is the bike underscore store. And then you just click apply. It's just that easy. So if you guys have updated that, so let's jump into importing the data. We are clicking the server icon. Then we have this option for data import. So we click the data import. And then you select, when you click the data import, we want to import data from a self-contained file. And that is why we are choosing this option here. After that, you just click these three buttons to navigate to where you have your files. That is the files that you have downloaded on the WhatsApp. In this case, my files are stored in the bike store here. So you just have like to click that and select the file that I want to import. So in this case, let me just click the bike store orders and I just click open. Then after that, we have this default target schema here. We select the schema that we have created. In my case, I'm importing them in bike underscore store underscore. So I just have to choose that schema. Then here down there is somewhere you're going to choose the dump structure and data. And then you just hit the button for start import. It's just that easy. You can see the import has already completed. I think I can exit this now. So if I just like right click this, I should be able to refresh and check if my tables have been imported. And you can see that the order table has been imported. I think you can just follow those few steps to do that. So after you're done with that, I think you can get into today's class. We see what you're going to learn today. So yesterday we managed to insert records. I think that is where we left, how to insert records. And today I want us to learn how you can also delete records from a table. And we say that you can delete all or selected records from the table by use of the following data manipulation language command. We use the command delete. You can delete from and then the table name, and then you can set the condition. That is where maybe you set a condition. So this is the syntax, the simple syntax for doing that, for deleting. So that is delete from, you insert the table name, and then you set the condition if you have any. So I think you can just try to use this in our workbench, the delete from. And if you can see here, I'm saying that when you use the delete from, let's say, a table student, delete from student will delete all the records in the table. When you just use the delete from the table name, it will delete all the records. So it's always good to set a condition in case you don't want maybe to delete all the files. But for delete from the table name, it will delete all the files. This is how we set a condition. So like delete from a student where, and then you set maybe a certain constraint or maybe a certain condition. Like in this case, you are deleting student where city is equals to Mumbai. Let's see how you can we can use that. And I just want to use this table. Let me use a smaller table, uh, like this one for school. Hoping this doesn't have many files. Don't think even it has any data. So let me just use this one for. I think we had a database called bounty underscore company. This is the database that I want to use. So let me just navigate to where I can write my. Let's get into employees. So these are the employees in my database. Sorry. So we have the employee ID, the employee name, city, salary. So I think I should use. Let me just write this command to use this database. That is, we are using bounty company. Good. Now we can select all. That is from employees. So before we delete anything, this is what we have. But now we can delete. We can maybe delete the first record here. And how we do that is just quite simple, because we're just going to use the keyword delete. So this is delete, and we want to delete from employees. Should be employees. And then we can just set a condition where let's say emp underscore name is equals to Sylvia. Should be Sylvia. Then we can have the semicolon. So if we run this command, we are going to delete the first entry here. So I think you can just run this and see what is going to happen. After that, I think you can just run this and check if you have managed to delete this. And it still exists. Let me check what is the problem. Delete from employees. Where employee underscore name is equals to Sylvia. Should be able to delete this. What is happening here? Let's just try to use a different condition here. Let's maybe use salary. Salary is equals to something like 50,000. Oops, is this one really working? Delete from employees where let me see this. Like something is not functioning well. This should work. Just see this delete from employees where we are getting an error here. Isn't save mode. Let's see this. What is not happening here? Let me check this, the other table here. Who has managed to delete a file? Let me see this. Okay. That is delete from employees, no, from students. Let me just set a condition here. Let me see what we have here. we can say where class is equals to 7. So something is not happening here. You are told that Tuze Bida, have you managed to delete on your end?
Yeah, I've been able, but I just disabled my save mode. You must disable your save mode first.
Okay.
So to go to the edit,
Does it mean you have disabled one?
yeah, then preferences, go to your preferences, then SQL editor, click on your SQL editor. The first one.
Yeah, we have
SQL editor. No, the first SQL editor.
let me see this.
Up, yeah, yes. Then scroll downwards. Yeah, disable that. Okay. Then restart your SQL by going to the start menu.
Okay, let me just try to exit this. Oh, does it mean I have never used delete in this workbench? Okay, let me see that. That is Rames. So let's see if it works, but it should. Let's use the bounty. So let's delete this. We want to delete that is from employees. We set a condition. Where we have, let me see what we have in this table. We can set the condition where emp name is equals to Sylvia. Sylvia. Then you try to delete that. Yeah, I think it has executed successfully. So thank you, Mr. Tuze Bida. I think that is it. And also for the rest, I think you can also disable the safe mode. I think I rarely use this workbench, but it's okay. So that is how you can delete. And if you maybe now try to retrieve all the files in this table, you notice that we don't have the Sylvia the Sylvia record. So I was saying that when you just use the delete, let's say you don't put the condition here. Let's say maybe we have delete from employees. When you execute these, when we just press this, we are going to lose all the data here. Let's see that. Let's execute this, and you notice that now we don't have any data. But there is a command that you can undo what you have done. There is a command that is called rollback. I don't know if it will execute in this workbench. I think I should try this. I think it has executed. Let's see if we have managed to retrieve the data yet. Oops. I think it should be able to retrieve the data. Oops. Does it mean this only works in? Let me see this. Or maybe there is again settings that you are missing. But if in case you're using the terminal, I think this should work. That is for those guys who are using the terminal. When you just use the rollback command, it should really reverse the process of deleting. So I think that is it with delete. You can see how the mess you can cause by just executing this delete from any table or delete from any database. You end up losing all the data. But in our case, this data didn't mean so much. So I think that is it with the delete. The delete what? The delete command. And you can add as many conditions as you want. Like in this case, you notice that we have delete from student where class is 7 and city is equals to Delhi. So meaning that it will only delete if this condition is satisfied. So that is it. And you are saying that you can recall and delete records by using the rollback command. And also you can use there is the commit command to record the changes permanently. So that is why I'm wondering why we didn't get our data back when you use the rollback command. But this one should work in the terminal. I think there is some setups maybe we are missing in the workbench. So I think that is it with the delete. And I think we can just now get into the update. So let's get to update command. And the update command will help you modify the columns of selected records in a table. So, and this is the syntax for updating. You just have to update and then you indicate the table name and then you set maybe some column to you set maybe a column and then maybe you set the expression that you want to the expression, and then you can also you can also add a condition. Like in this case, the simplest form of using update is this. That is update maybe student you set class to a certain value. So, and I think this one is quite easy how you use it. So let's see what we have in the student database here, in the student table. Let's run these and see what we have. Maybe you can set the class here to a different number. That is in the first record here. So let's see let's see how you can update the class record. And it's quite easy. We have seen is just update and then the table name, and then you set the data for a certain column. So let's do that. So it's update, and we want to update the table students. Update table students. Good. Update the table student. Then after that, we need to set, let's say maybe class is equals to maybe something like, we can just update it to something like maybe 9. Then we just put the semicolon here. So when we run these, we can see that the update command has executed successfully. So let's see what we have. If you can just execute this again to see that all the class values are executed, are updated to 9. So let's now get to how you can update a certain record. So you just have now to use the where clause, and then you set a condition. So we can say, in this case, we can say we want to update, let's say, student class to maybe something less, let's say 10, and then we go ahead and put a condition where we can say maybe where the f name is equals to, let's update for James. This should be in quotations. So let's run this and see what happens. It has executed successfully. So let's also run this. And now you notice that the first record is updated to 10. So you can either use the set and then column name to a certain value to update all the columns, but you can go ahead and maybe specify a certain record. I think the update function is just that simple. Any question up to that point? That is modifying the records using the update command. Any question? Amos, are we good? Good. So let's move on to, I think we saw how you can create a table. That is create a table. But I want us to see how you can set constraint when creating a table. That is something that we didn't check. So we say how maybe you can set a constraint. Let's say maybe you want a certain field not to accept null values or empty values. So you must set up the constraint for when when you're creating the table. So in this case, we have a number of constraints that you can set during creation of a table, and I think you can just the most common ones. And the first one is not null constraint, and this one ensures that the column cannot have a null value. So when doing the insert, process, you must include a value, or the command fails to execute. Also, we have the primary key, and the primary key is used to identify a certain row uniquely. unically. Like you cannot have a duplicate in this case. So I we use the primary key constraint. So we have a default constraint, and this one will provide a default value for a column if no value is given. Let's say maybe during during an insert process, and maybe you fail to include a value for a certain field. It will if you had set the constraint to be default, you notice that that field that by default we are going to get the column will be populated with a certain value. Then we have unique, and for unique constraint now ensures that all values in the column are different, meaning that you cannot have a in a let's say in a column you cannot have values uh, that are the same. So they must be unique. So in this case, let's say maybe you have a customer database, and maybe you want all the IDs to be unique, meaning that you cannot customers cannot have same IDs. You can also use constraints such as unique. We have the check constraint, and this one ensures that values for a column should satisfy a certain condition. So maybe you can set a condition. Maybe let's say the age should be above maybe 18. That one is a condition, and it should when you use the check when you use that condition during the inserting time, that condition must be met for the query to execute successfully. Then we have a foreign key. This one is mostly used when we want to reference maybe from a table, and we are going to see that in this database here, where we have in this case we have customers, the customer data, and you notice now when it comes to, let's say, orders here. Let's see what we have in orders. When we come to orders, you notice that now we have customer ID in orders. So meaning that this one is acting like this one in this case here. This one is acting as a foreign key, referencing the customer table here. So I think that with the foreign key. So you can set foreign keys if two tables you want two tables too. If you want maybe if you have two tables and you want a table to reference from the first table, you can use this foreign key. That is why we are saying that is used for referential integrity of the data. There are other constraints that you can use, but these are the most commonly used constraints during creating of tables. So let's see how you can implement them. It's quite easy how you can implement them. So let's say we are creating a table that is called student, and let's say we want for this table we have a number of fields such as the student code, we have the student name, we have the student ad, and admission for the student and the student age. So in this case, you notice that when we are creating this table, we are setting the student code to be it is of character type, that is the data type, and we are setting two constraints here. First, the student code should not be empty or should not be null. So meaning that it should have a value. And also we are setting another constraint that this student code will act as our primary key. So meaning that uh, this student code will act as our primary key, and it should not be null. So those are the two constraints that we are setting in these field. And for not null here, we are saying that the constraint specifies that column must not contain null value. You should underline the word must not contain null value, meaning that it's mandatory for you to insert a value for this case. The other field that we have here is the student name, and I notice that we are saying that this field should not be null, so meaning that it should have a value. Then we have the student add, where we just have in this one we don't have a constraint. And then we have the admission. The admission should be unique for every student. And then we have the check. So you notice that in here check is a function where we are setting that the age must be greater than 5. Anytime you try to put to insert an age that is less than 5, this means that your query, maybe an insert query, will not execute, because this constraint must be fulfilled. So, and that's all about the how you can set constraint when creating tables. And I think that one is quite easy. Even let's say maybe you are creating a table here in this database of ours here. Let's say maybe you are creating a table maybe exams, and now you notice that you must indicate the column name. Let's say maybe here is for exam, you must have the student ID, or we can have exam underscore ID. So meaning that this exam ID of data type int, we can use it as our primary key, that is the PK. And also we can say that this exam ID, it should not be null. So that is why we are using double N here. That is not null. So those are some of the constraints that you can set even during creation of this table here. There is the one for unique and other constraints. So I think that's all with I don't think we are going to create that because we don't need it. So I think you can just close that. But that is how we set constraint while creating tables. I think having said that, we can get into, I think I've already talked about the primary keys. So let's see. And also I think we mentioned how you can view the structure of a table using the describe command, where we use the describe and then the table name. I think we have used that severally. We have also seen how you can delete a table. And maybe something that we should maybe check here is what Joroge, that is, was it David Joroge, was asking yesterday about maybe adding a field on already existing table. So we use this command, that is the alter command. This is the command that we use, and this is the syntax for it. We just have to use alter table, and then we mention the table name, and then you can either add, you can modify, you can drop, you can change. So I think for this case we can see how you can add you can add a what, maybe we can modify a table to add what, maybe to add a column. So I think we use this. We have this syntax here. We alter table, the table name, and then modify, and then what you want to modify. You can maybe add a column. Let's see how you can do that. Like in this case here, you notice that we have the employee ID, employee name, city, salary. What else should we add? Someone to tell us what column we should add for an employee. Amos, what do you think we should add for an employee?
Employee is
Employee what? We have already the ID, we have the name of the employee.
we can do employee age.
Oh, the employee age, right? I think you can add the age of the employee. So we have already seen that syntax. So it's alter. Let's see this. That is alter table. Or is this alter table student? Then modify. We add something. So I think it's just that easy. So it's alter table. We want, in this case, we are using the employee. Have you already indicated that you want to use this database? Let's say that you want to use that is bounty underscore company, semicolon. So let's alter. I want to alter table employees, and in this case we want to do a modification. Modify. You said we add age, and at the age we can use int, or let's just use the vulture. Let's just use int. I think it makes sense. I think that is it. That is alter table employees. We modify to add age of type int. Let's execute this and see what. Oops. And we are told that unknown column age in the employees. let me see this. In this case, we want to add. And what we are adding is the age. It's not a modification. We want to add something. That is the age of type int. Let's see what happens here. And now you notice that the command has executed successfully. So if you were to now run this, we notice that in our table we have added a column age. So what if maybe you want to modify the data type for age? You just have to use the alt now, alt table, that is employees, and then you do the modification. You want to modify, and what you modify is age. And then maybe you can talk of the vulture. Maybe you want to convert this one to vulture, and you can even set the length of that. We can use 20. Oops. Okay, before we execute these, let's describe this. Let's describe employees and see what we have. And you notice that in the fields here, the age is of type, the age is of type int. So I want us just to execute these. We alter that, we execute that, and I now try to describe these just to make sure that that now age has changed its type to vulture, and it must have a maximum value of 20 characters. So that is how you can modify the data type for any field. I think that's all with modification. Joroge, are you good up to that point? I think now you have seen how you can add a field or a column in your table. Is Joroge in? Joroge? David. I think David is in there.
Yes, I'm good.
Okay. I think that's all with modification. You can also drop. You can also drop alter table. Let's say maybe you want to drop what? You want to drop a certain. You want to drop a certain column. You can also use the alter command. Let's say maybe alter table, and then you indicate the table name, and then you indicate the column that you want to drop. It's just that easy. It's just that easy. I think that's all with the tables. Unless if you guys have any question concerning how you can create table. I mean, how you can create database, how you can create tables and try to manipulate the data in the database. So if you have any question, you can just raise up your hand and ask. Any questions so far? Does it mean we are good up to that point? Tuze Bidha Kenya, are we good up to that point?
Yeah, basically I'm good, but I guess I got a summary. So I was asking,
Yes.
So in that example where you gave us some data to download, right?
Yes.
So how can we upload that data to our database? That was my main question.
Okay. I think because now we are getting into the aggregate functions, and we are supposed to use these bike store here. So I think I'll just repeat the process of how you can upload that. But before we get to that, is there any other question concerning how we create databases, how you can modify them? Any question up to that point? Because I think now we are getting to some two functions, the aggregate functions that we have in MySQL, and then we are going to use this database here. That is the bike store. So maybe I can just repeat the process. We said the first step is to create a schema, or what we call a database. And we said how you create a schema is just, you just have like to click this, see the stuff here. You click that and you name your schema. We said we call this bike store, bike underscore store. And then you can click apply. But you notice if I click apply, I'll get an error message here because I already have that schema existing in my workbench, but in your case it should execute. So you just have to follow that wizard, that is apply, the creation wizard, that is apply, and then I think it should, let me see. If I just click apply, and then you apply again to finish that. Then after that, I want to show you how now you can import that data in your schema now. So in this case, I want to use this schema here that is called bike underscore store underscore, because in my case I already have those tables in my bike store schema here. So let me show you how you can do that. You're going to click this server option here, and then you check the option written data import. I'm hoping that we are together up to that point. You click the data import, then you should be able to see this page here. So, and because in our case we want to import from a self-contained file, we are going to click this option. Then after clicking that option, we are going to click these three dots here to navigate to where we have our files. So I think in this case I can just click, and then you notice that all my files are in this bike store folder here. So I can just click on this folder and just choose. We said that we are just importing the bike store customers and bike store orders. I think with that schema I had already done that, so I can just choose a different schema for this case. Let me choose bike store products, and then I just click open. So after that, we must we must choose the target schema where now we want to import that data to. So, and we are going to do that by clicking this drop down here. So you can just click that drop down and choose the schema that you created. In your case, it will be bike underscore store. But in my case here, I'm using bike underscore store underscore. So when you click that, you should scroll downwards just to make sure that there is this option here whereby we want to import dump structure and the data. So I'm going to check that to choose that that option, and then after that I should do what? After that I should start the import. There is this button here. You just have to click that. Then on successful import, you should get this message here. The import is completed. I don't know if Tuze Bidha, you are good now.
Yeah, thank you. I'm good.
Okay. I think that's all with the import. You can also import all the other tables at your own free time. But in this case, we are just going to use the customers and the order tables. So let's get to the aggregate functions and see what they are and how they are used. So aggregate functions, we are saying that these are functions that perform calculations on a set of values, and they will always return a single value. Let's say maybe you want to calculate the sum of all the salaries. You want maybe to calculate the sum of all the ages. You want to calculate the sum of all the products sold. So that function will always return a single value, and that is why we are calling them aggregate functions. They are about four. They are about four of them. And we are saying that aggregate functions are often used with the group by clause. I think we already seen. Did we check the group by clause? I don't think we have checked that, but we are going to see how it works. And the select statement. Those are some of the statements that are going to be used with these aggregate functions. Let's say maybe you want to select maybe a group of customers with a certain age. So meaning that you are going to group by age, or maybe group by city, or maybe group by you can group by maybe by address and such. So that is the aggregate function, and I think I've already said that they return a single value. So the other thing, I think now we should check the types of functions, the types of aggregate functions. And the first one is a max. You guys know how max function operates. It will always return the largest value within the selected items. We have the count function, and this one will return the number of rows in a certain set. Just return the count for a certain set. We have the sum, and for the sum you expect to get a total value for a certain maybe numerical column. For the AVG, that is the average, and this one will always return the average value for a certain numerical column. So you notice that these for the average and the sum, they will work only on numerical columns. because you cannot sum the names of people. You cannot sum the cities. So meaning that you are going to these are going just to work properly where we have a numerical values. So let's see how each of these aggregate functions work. And we are going to start with the mean. And the mean function will always return the smallest value within a selected column. And how we use that is quite simple, because it will now be select mean, and then we put the column that we want to get the mean value from, and then we indicate the table that we are working with. So I think you can start by checking the mean and also the maximum. The max will also work the same. So let's navigate to this database of ours here and navigate to this table called orders. Maybe you can just try to familiarize with this table and see what we have. So in this table, we have the order ID. That is, these are just numbers, a range of numbers, maybe from 1 to a certain number. We have the customer ID. This one is gotten from the customer table. And then we have the order status. In fact, this database is it's for a certain app that it deals with renting and selling of bikes. So you expect to get some you expect to get orders, and you must record the order status. Let's say maybe you did an online order, and maybe the order is still pending. So those orders we are giving them numbers. Maybe four is a complete order. There is 3 and 2 and 1 to indicate certain values. So also we are recording the order date and the required date. So this is the date that you are supposed to have delivered the order. And also we have the shipped date. That is the order of the date you deliver that order. So also we have the store ID, and also we have the staff ID. So with this kind of data, I don't know if we can check any. Let's see. No, in this we don't have anything that you can check the maximum. But let's get to stock. I think in stock we should be able to get some values that we can get the mean and max values. Because in our stock now we have the store ID and the product ID and the quantity of that product. So with this we can check the maximum, we can check the mean, we can check the sum, and also we can check something like the average, the average. So let's get into this. Let's get into this database, and we want to use the bike. That is the bike store database. So let me just execute that. I want to get into this now. So let's first we are going to check the minimum the product with the minimum quantity. And how we do that is just select. You want to select that is the mean. that is the mean, and then that is from our table here that is called stocks. It should be stocks, then semicolon. But you notice the mean here we should pass the quantity. So let's add the quantity here. The quantity should be the quantity. So let's see what we get here. Let's execute this. And I will notice that there is a product that has zero quantity. So maybe we can select, let's see. Let me show you something. We can select, let's have product underscore ID. Let's try and execute these now. I think we have a problem here. We are told that, oops, it shouldn't be like that. We should be grouping by, we can group these by, we can group this by the product ID. Let's see what we have when we execute these. What to group by ID. So there is this quantity that has zero. I think even there are many there are many products with a zero value, and that is what we were checking here. I think you can even you can just execute that to see that there is a product with zero value. Also, you can change this one to max. It's quite easy how we use these aggregate functions. Let's see. In our database, we have a product with the max value here of 30. So, and also you can check. Let's see these. That is we have the mean and we have the max. So let's check how you can also check the sum and also the average for these items here. So it's just quite easy how you can also do this, because you're just going, if it's the average value for all the quantity, you just have like to indicate the AVG. Then if you execute this, you should be able to get the average products that you have in your store. Also, you can check the sum of the. I think the sum even make more sense in this case, just to check the quantity of stock that you have in your database. You notice that the sum of all the products here, it's about 13,511. So I think this is all about the aggregate function. We are going to see how we can get the count for each product using the count. I think we should be able to check the count. Let me see if I had included that. Yes, I think this is we can use count to check the to check the count. And we are seeing that the count function returns the number of rows in a set. So let's see how we can get the count here. And this is the syntax for doing that. It's just quite easy. You select the count, and then this asterisk will mean that it's kind of, you are getting the count for each item in that table. So let's check how it works. Let's see the count here. Should be the count. Let's add just a statistic and see the count. The count of this stock. We are told the count here. The count, this count will count the total number of, maybe in this case we were checking, we just checking the total number of stocks in this table. So meaning that it will count in this case we are just counting we have not used any distinct, but you can use the distinct to get the count for distinct stocks in your table. So meaning that it will return the count for each unique product in the table. But let's see how we can modify these. So select, let's say we want to let me see the table that we can use here. Let's see the category, brands, have the staff, products. Let's see a table that we can maybe use here to count. I think you can use the product table here, because the product table here we have the product ID, product name, brand ID, category ID, the model and the list price. So let's just try to check the count for all the models, for the model year, all the bikes with the model year to 2016. You can check that by using that is the select that is the count. Let's have select, that is model year. This is model year. Let's have model year, then the count. Again, here we can just pass the model year. Let's just count all. That is from this table. In this case, we are using the product table. So from products, and we want to we want to group by. Let's use the group by model year. Let's go here. Let's see what we get by this. Then we have, we have an error here, but you're told that table bike store doesn't. It should be products, not product. So, and now you notice that we are getting the count for each model year. That is the model year and the count. So that is for 2016, we have 26. All the bikes for model 2017, we have 85. And all the bikes that have model year 2018, they are about 204. And for the 2019, they are about 6. So meaning that you can make your query to be more complex, especially if you want to get a specific maybe data from the database. Let's see, like in this case, now we have managed to get the count for each model year. Again, you can check the maximum. You can use the max function to get the product with the highest price. So like in this case here, you can just use maybe select. You can maybe use the select. Let's see what we're going to get by this. You can maybe use select, and then we want to see the product. We want to see the product name. The product underscore name. And then we want to get the max. That's the max price. The max, and then we just pass in our the list price. Oops. The score price, and this is from products. I think you can just execute this and see what you're going to get here. And I think you're getting something, or you're getting an error here. You're told that let's see this. Select product name, and you want the max. I think you can just have the max. Let's just have the max value from this, and then maybe we can group by. We can have a group by that is the product name. Let me execute these to see the spelling for the field name for that product underscore name. We can group by product name. It's just quite easy. Product. Let's group that by product name and see what we get. I think you are not getting what we want, because we want the max price and the product name. Let me see this. Should be product name. Then max list price from product. Let's see this. Now we have the product name, but you want the product name with the max. The max. I think the best clause to use here is order by. I think you guys can remember the order by clause. We order by. But even if you don't need this, because we just need a one, I just want the product name and the maximum price for that. It is not executing. Let's see if we can get the max price. What if we group by name? Also, this one is quite a different. This is quite a different query. But this is how you can get the maximum the max price for the products that we have already in the store. And also the model. This is how you can count. You can have the count for each model in the stock. So those are the four aggregates, the four aggregate functions that you can have. That is the max, count, sum, and average, and that is how we use them. So I don't think we have time to check the MySQL Aliases, but I think as I was introducing you to this MySQL, there is something that I said that you can temporarily change the name of your field names. We use MySQL Aliases, and it's just a topic that we can a topic that maybe you can rush through. And I will say that aliases are used to give a table or a column name, a column in a table, a temporary name. And we say that aliases are often used to make column names more readable. Like in this case, let me show you. Like in the case of, is it the product? Let's check the product here. You notice that in here, we are using the product underscore name. But if you want these maybe words to be separate, let's say maybe you want to have just product and name without these underscore, and maybe the P and N maybe starting with capital letters. We can use these kind of aliases. And we say that an alias only exists for the duration of that query. So meaning, having said that, we are just temporarily changing the name, it means that it will just exist for the duration of that query. So meaning after that, the data in your database will not be affected. So for you to use an alias, we use that by we use that by use of as keyword, and it's just quite easy, not something that is difficult to use aliases for your case. And we are saying that this is the syntax. In fact, this is the syntax for using aliases. Let me just remove that. Oops. This is the syntax. Let's say maybe you can select column name as the alias name that you want to use from table. So let me just show you that. Let me say maybe I want to get the column for product name, and with a different column name here. We're just going like to select what we are saying, that select column name, that is the product name, uh, and then underscore name, and then you're going to use as. Then you can maybe indicate product, that is the product name, let's have product name, or maybe product, or let's use the just name. That is select product name as name, and we want to select this one from what? From our products. Let's execute that very fast and see what we have. You notice after now using the alias name, we are getting the column the column name for the product has been changed to name. Let's just try to use maybe two words here. Product. We can have that the product name, and we can just try to execute this again. And now we have the product name as this. But initially, if maybe you were to get just the product name from products, and we execute this, you notice that we are getting the name from the database. That is the product underscore name. That is how we use the alias. The alias to change the names of a column. It's just that easy. I don't know if there is any question up to that point before we check how you can even change the table name using the aliases. So any question up to that point? I'm hoping that we are good up to that point. So let's see how we can change the table name using the alias. But in most cases, where we change the table name is in cases where maybe you want to use two tables. You want to retrieve data from two tables, and then now you must do what? You must indicate that you want to get the data from two tables. Like in this, this is the syntax for it. You just have like to select column name from the table name, and then as alias name. It's just that easy. So let's say for instance, you are getting order ID from the orders table, and also you are getting the customer name from the customers. How do we get that? It's just quite easy, because now we are going to have, let's say maybe you want to get that, you want to get for the customer table here, we can get, let's say, the first name, the F name, that is the first underscore name from this table, and then we want to get what? Let's see. We want to get something like the. I think you can just get we can get another data from the. Let's see what we have in the products. Let me see this. I think in orders, we can check something in orders where we have the customer ID ordering. I think we can get the order status. We can get the order status from the order table, and we get the customer name, first name from this table. So it's just quite easy. We are going just to do the select. Maybe you can use C dot. This one is just to mean it's the customer table, customers table. So we can say that is C dot, maybe first underscore name. Then we want to get the order status. That is the order status from order table dot, let's say, order underscore status. Order status, that is order status. So, and how we use this is, we are saying that from let me see this again. That is from customers. Let's see these customers. Customers as C, and that is a comma, orders, that is orders as what we call as O. So in this case, we are just saying that we want to select that is the first name from the customer, and you notice that we are using C, but also we are going to indicate that C is just an alias for the customers, and also we are using O as alias for orders. But we want to set a condition here, so we must use the where. You must use the where condition. And in our where condition, we just want to retrieve that data, maybe where we have the customer ID, maybe as a certain ID. So you can just say that where, that is where, let's say where customer ID, and we should use the C, that is C dot customers is equal to, maybe we can use the we can use this 259 as the ID. That is 259. And then we can talk of we maybe use and. The customer ID must be this, and where we are using the customer, that is C dot customer, should be small c dot customer ID is equals to we want to compare this with let's see what we have in this. We can have O dot customer ID. So if we execute now this, we should get, let's see, oops, I think we have an error here. We have an error that first name, select first name, error code, unknown column code, customers, C dot customers. And this one should be customer ID. So I think that is why we had a mistake. So let's execute this. And now you notice that we have the first name and order status as 4. That is for this specific customer ID. So we are getting the status from the order table, and we are getting the name from the customer table. So that is how you can use the Aliases for retrieving data from two different tables, and even you can use 3 different tables. So I think any question on that? I think we are going to practice more tomorrow on how you can retrieve data from different tables. So I don't know if there is any question up to that point. I can see we already read by 6 minutes. So any question from that, David?
I'm okay.
Are you good? What about Nyambura Kemani? These queries, they can be no question.
Yes.
Yeah, these queries, they can be more complex depending on what you want to retrieve. So we are going to practice more on how you can get data from different tables in a database. But at your own free time, I think you can just now you upload all the files that I shared with you to this database that is called the bike store, because again, this is the database that you are going to use all through. So I think you can just meet tomorrow. You guys, if there is no any question, you guys, you can enjoy your night. See you tomorrow.